New mother collapses when she peep under baby's blanket. Lauren feels sick to her stomach. There had to be some kind of mistake, right? What was this doing in the blanket? She holds her not even day-old baby daughter in her arms while a tear trickles down her flustered cheek. Everything was fine before that nurse came in and took baby Everly away. What had the nurse done? Lauren looks down at the soft blanket and a shiver creeps up her spine. Nothing will ever be the same again. When Lauren Evans found out she was pregnant with her second child, she was over the moon. She already had a beautiful little boy called Caden with her partner Chad McDevitt, so this time around she knew what to expect when it came to pregnancy. But when her baby was born and Lauren untucked them from their soft blanket to get a closer look, she found something that left her feeling sick to her stomach. She never expected this to happen. Not in a million years. For all of her life, Lauren only had one dream that she held close to her heart. And that was to become a mother. So when she and Chad found out they were expecting their second child, they were ecstatic. Their son Caden was one of the greatest things that ever happened to them, so they were eager to meet the latest addition to their family. But they had no idea what was coming to them. When Lauren's water broke at home, she remained calm and huddled herself into the car to be taken to the hospital. She had planned every detail of her labor. She wanted to ensure it wasn't as stressful as her first labor. She had candles and ambient music at the ready. But nothing could have prepared her for what was to happen after the delivery when she unwrapped her baby girl and saw something inside her blanket. Thankfully there were no complications while Lauren gave birth. And finally, after 6 hours of labor, Lauren gave birth to a healthy baby girl called Everly. Lauren's 7-year-old son Caden was over the moon with his new little sister. Like most adoring dads, Chad was calling up everyone he knew and informing them of the good news. But like Lauren, he had no idea what was coming. Everything seemed to be going perfect for the happy family. Lauren was drained, but she fought back her tiredness in order to cherish this moment. Her partner, her son, and her new baby daughter. It was all she ever wanted. But a few hours later, Lauren would uncover something truly unsettling. The hospital soon started to fill up with Lauren and Chad's family and friends, who were excited to see the latest addition to their family. Everybody was smitten with Everly, giggles and laughter echoed throughout the room, while Lauren, as tired as she was, joined in with the celebration. But this new mom had no idea what was coming to her. Lauren's family and friends couldn't get enough of Everly. They were truly in love with this tiny human. But then suddenly, Lauren's aunt informed Lauren that little Everly needed changing. A nurse was called in and she swiftly arrived. Lauren didn't know it at the time, but this nurse was about to turn her world upside down. The nurse arrived and baby Everly was handed to her to change her diaper. Lauren would have changed it herself, but a 6-hour baby delivery had started to take its toll on Lauren. She was feeling tired. As Lauren watched the nurse leave the room with her barely day-old baby, suddenly a strange feeling hit the pit of Lauren's stomach. 15 minutes passed, and the nurse returned armed with little Everly. As the nurse handed her over to Lauren, Lauren saw a smirk creep across the nurse's face. It wasn't a congratulatory or a happy smirk. It felt like something much sinister. Lauren had no idea just what this nurse was up to. Cuddling her new baby, Lauren noticed that Everly was tightly wrapped up in the blanket. She could see her dark eyes and thin hair peeking out at the top. The nurse was obviously good at her job. However, Lauren had no idea what was lurking inside the blanket. With more and more family members arriving at the hospital wanting to cuddle and feast their eyes on baby Everly, many members were disappointed to find that they couldn't really see the baby aside from her eyes and thin hair. They told Lauren to unwrap the blanket and let baby Everly out so they could get a closer look. Lauren agreed and she started to unwrap the blanket, but she had no idea what was coming. Lauren was more than happy to show off her baby. After all, she was a cute little thing and she knew how much her elderly relatives would swoon at the sight of Everly. But as she unwrapped her precious baby, the smile on Lauren's face faded. And what she saw left her feeling sick to her stomach. Everly was wrapped so tightly that Lauren found it hard to unwrap her. The nurse who cleaned up Everly had purposefully tightened the blanket, but why? This whole situation should have been a beautiful and poignant moment, but instead, it turned into something unexplainable and unimaginable. Lauren was finally able to untuck her new baby from the very tight blanket. With everyone eager to see the face of their new family member, Lauren felt all eyes on her. Finally, baby Everly was free from the blanket and Lauren was ready to show her aunts and uncles her face. But as Lauren unwrapped the baby, she soon realized there was something else inside the blanket. She felt sick. Lauren was frozen in her tracks and her face went as white as a ghost. This had to be a joke, right? She tried to scream for help, but the words wouldn't come out. She was too focused on what she just uncovered in her baby daughter's blanket. She holds her baby in her arm while a shiver crept up her spine. This was too much. She started to scream and the laughter and cheer that filled the room came to a sudden halt. What had Lauren found? As worried family members huddled around Lauren and baby Everly, they were confused at what was going on. Why was Lauren shrieking? The baby was perfectly fine before the nurse took her and changed her diaper. What had happened? What did the nurse do? While Lauren had tears falling from her eyes, her partner Chad was surprisingly calm. He kissed his girlfriend's forehead and reassured her that everything was fine. But little did Lauren know that Chad was also in on this foul plan. With Lauren's shrieks getting louder and louder, confused family members suddenly caught a peek at baby Evian's attire. It was Odyssey, but it wasn't the same one she was wearing before getting cleaned up by the nurse. The situation started to get seriously suspicious. What had happened? Lauren knew she had to find out the truth. And when this devoted mom finally uncovered the mystery that left her feeling sick, she was lost for words. Without a second to waste, Lauren wiped the tears from her eyes and picked up baby Everly. She lifted her in the air, showing fellow family members her outfit. As people peered over, they suddenly witnessed something that would never leave their minds. For a second, the truth had started to unravel in front of eagle-eyed guests and worried family members. As soon as she lifted little Everly, people gasped at what they saw. It was Everly's Odyssey and it had something stomach-churning on it. What exactly did Chad and the nurse do? Seeing the strange thing on baby Everly's Odyssey, Lauren knew she had to look inside the blanket to find out the truth. Whatever was hiding and lurking inside, Lauren was about to uncover it. When she discovered the truth, tears dribbled down her cheek. But Chad, her so-called Prince Charming, had another surprise waiting for her. Chad looked at Lauren straight in the eyes and simply muttered 4 words. "Will you marry me?" Lauren was lost for words. She could feel excitement burst from her sore body. She immediately responses with a loud yes. But what was written on baby Everly's Odyssey? With family members witnessing the proposal and even more excited about their engagement, many wondered what was written on the baby's Odyssey. Lauren picked up the Odyssey and with a big smile slapped on her face, she revealed what was on the Odyssey. "Mommy, will you marry Daddy?" How cute. Chad's proposal had been there all along.